this video, the optimizer options that aren't discussed in other videos will be discussed. To open the dialog box, go to Tools, Optimizer Options. These settings influence how a design will stitch. DesignWorks will cut all connecting threads between different objects that are longer than the value entered in trimming distance between objects. You can set the trimming distance between objects to influence whether you will have a jump stitch or a thread trim. Jump stitches connect objects without cutting the thread. When you set the trimming distance between objects, you are setting the distance where the machine will make a thread trim. If the distance is set at 2 millimeters, the trim will be cut if the distance between the two objects is longer than this value. The lowest trimming value that can be set is 0.5 millimeters. You can use the measurement tool to measure the distance between objects and then make a decision on the setting to make in this dialog box. Combining is a special type of grouping in DesignWorks and will be discussed in detail in a later video. It is important to remember that combined objects with 3D preview activated in the View menu will still display jump stitches, even if the trimming distance is specified as less than the jump stitches, but these stitches will still be trimmed. The jump stitch will become a thread trim when the design is converted to a stitch design when it is exported, as long as the thread trim distance is shorter than the jump stitch distance. When the objects are broken apart and not combined, you'll notice that the jump stitches do not show. As long as the distance between the objects is longer than the value of set for trimming distance, there will be a thread trim between these objects. Other items that can be changed in the optimizer include endpoints at closest connection, even on trims. When this is checked, the software finds the closest connection point between the objects, even if a thread trim is made. If it is unchecked, the software will choose the best place to place entry and exit points of each object, but they will not necessarily be the closest connection. The optimizer choices affect the way a design is embroidered. All these choices are only available when Enable Auto Sequence is activated. There are 4 options inside the optimizer dialog after enabling auto sequence, and you can see that it is checked. Optimization strategy. These options define the way an object is embroidered. The choices are top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, right to left, small to large, and large to small, inside to outside, and outside to inside. Large to small is the default. Keep sequence of overlapped objects even if trimmed. In this case, when this option is checked, all shapes of the design will keep the overlapping order of the vectors and not necessarily in the order that the design was created. No thread trims inside combined objects. This option, when checked, does not allow thread trimming between combined objects. All objects will be embroidered with jump stitches, even if you have set the trimming distance to the shortest distance. These do not apply to grouped objects, only combined objects. If this option is left unchecked, all thread trims are calculated according to this setting. With minimized color changes, when more colors is enabled, the embroidery design sequence is followed more accurately, but the production process is longer. If you choose less, keep in mind that there may be more pull in the design. With more selected, the software will embroider each object with each border separately, and more thread trims will occur with this option selected. Adjustments made in this dialog box will change the current design only. You can select Save as Default if you want these changes in every design, and then you can always restore defaults if you wish.